do you have some key lessons learned for us?
What I kind of learned a little bit is I lose confidence in my deck when I have one or two bad performances.
Yeah.
But no, I learned to really focus on okay, what are the matchups that I want to face? What are the matchups that I win against? And what are matchups that I say, okay, I want to lose against? So let's say not want, but I say, okay, I cannot cover everything, and that's okay. Sometimes, I don't know if you have the feeling, but this is something that I think is very valuable.
Welcome to In Response, a Legacy podcast. Whether you're a dedicated player or just curious about Legacy, join us as we share ideas, discuss decks, and have some fun along the way.
Daniel, do we know what happened last week?
Last week, I think it was Friday, it was a sunny day, it was shining.
And you are shining now as the winner of the Austrian Legacy League Season X.
Yes.
So
excited. I think Season X is cool.
Yeah, that's the one we don't read Twitter, yeah.
I won Season Twitter.
So yeah, you've won the Austrian Legacy League for the first time.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Daniel.
Thank you very much. It is actually really, now really, as you said, the 10th season now. I played since the second season, I think. Or I was part of the first season. I started out, but I was not really fully part of that. So that's, 10 years in total, I would say.
I'm pretty sure it was 9 years right now.
Oh, 9 years, yeah.
Because the first seasons that we had were just half a year.
Yeah.
Or something like that, because it started with season 0.5 and season 1, and then season 2, and everything smashed together in 1 year. So
yeah,
I think we started in 2016.
Yeah.
With the
True. Yeah, it was season 1, right?
Yeah.
Started, and I joined there. I really started to play competitive Legacy for more, let's say, more focused. And the best finishes I had was it was like third position or so in a couple of seasons that I managed to do, but I never won. So this is actually really cool.
And actually it was like really exciting from start to the end, because like at one point I think Jacob was like 15 points ahead of you, and I basically said, Jacob is gonna win this. Then coming the week before the end of the tournament of the league, you were like 6 points ahead, I think, and it was like both Marcus, who actually won the league, I think, last year, and Jacob both had the potential with a 5-0 or even a 4-1 to overtake you in third position. But you cemented it quite in the last week.
I also think it was pretty cool. Down to the last FNM that we had, it was open for basically the top three. Marcus and Jacob, as you mentioned, and myself. I was at the top. I was 6 points ahead. Yes, but we have the system where we only count the 2/3 best results, and the other guys were actually favored in that system, and they were behind in points, which is my, of course, favorite. But in terms of deleting the worst results, they actually have had better odds to perform better. Let's say make more plus in points in terms of points.
Just for clarification for our listeners, league runs about almost a year, I think. So. And we're playing 33 events, so each week, and we have to make some breaks because of pre-release and something like that. But we have 33 events that we're playing. Each event consists of 5 rounds of Legacy, and we crown the champion and chill. As Metagame, and also to not fall into the trap of just rewarding the best grinder. We have a special rule in place that we basically make a cut of the best 2/3 of your events.
Yeah.
of all events. So your best 22 events basically count.
Yeah. So if you play 23 events, the worst one will be eliminated and doesn't count for the final points. And of course, then you can only, of course, improve on top of your worst performances. For example, I had in the last round, my worst performance was on FNM with 7 points. And if we have 5 rounds, the maximum is 15 points. So I could only improve 8 points in that sense.
At most, yeah.
At most, exactly, if I went 5-0. And with
Not only if.
It's a spread, then you don't spell.
And the other guys had like 6 points as the worst. So they had 1 point advantage in that sense. And as you said, Peter, if one of those guys actually went 4-1 and I didn't improve, then we would have, at least for Marcus, the second position, and myself, we would have the same points after that. And then the issue would have been, in terms of breakers, Marcus had the better breakers. So he actually would have, with the same amount of points, he would have been the first position. Yeah.
With opponent's game win rate. And exactly the same thing would have applied with Jacob with a 4-1. When he draws in the finals, he would have also tied with Daniel with a better OGW.
So that's actually kind of great because we are playing 33 events during a year, and it's still exciting at the last round because the top 10 were basically closed. I'm pretty sure that there was nothing.
Yep.
No one could jump into the top 8 or something. I know for sure because I was 11th and I was out of competition.
And top 10 is where you want to be, right? Because this is the area where we reward extra prizes after the season ends. So this is kind of the goal, to be in the top 10 after the end of the season. And so this is and I think it's until the end quite a little bit of fluctuation going on. The top 3 were pretty settled, I would say, but top 10, I'm not sure. I didn't check the numbers.
Yeah, there were some, the top 10 were settled, but in the top 10,
the places,
the places, there were some pretty wild things going on. I'm unsure who, but I'm pretty sure one person made about 3 places in the last round or something like that.
Yeah,
and that's about 30 to 40 bucks more, I think.
Yeah.
So that's
in prize money, right?
In prize money, yeah. So it's pretty great.
Yeah, it was really, really awesome to see all this happening. I was not there, but I was checking my phone, our online tournament software, basically to see how it goes. And then when I saw, Daniel basically hit 9 points, so it went over. And I think both Marcus and Jacob have lost like 1 or 2 rounds as it was over. And then immediately the text message comes in from Daniel, I won.
Yeah, we just chatted before a little bit. We just what are the odds? And then I had to text, of course, because you were the only one of us that wasn't there in the last season event. So I had to let you know, of course, also. You spoke of Marcus losing. I've actually got paired against Marcus in the first round.
Oh, wow.
So it was for sure, you felt a little bit tension. Everybody needed to win, kind of. And we played the mirror.
And that also. So everything boiled down to that exact moment, starting against
first place against second place.
Yeah, it would have been awesome if you had played Jacob in the final or something like that. But how did the event really go?
Yeah, I mean, I set myself a goal. Like I said, I had like 7 points that I could improve on. I thought to myself, okay, I think if I manage to have like a 3-2 results, I get 2 extra points in total. And then if neither of the other 2 players have like a 5-0, then I'm actually fine. Then I'm settled. And it started pretty great, actually, because like I said, I got paired against Marcus. In the one hand, also, this is already bad for him, of course, because if I win, then of course the chances for him is pretty slim, I would say.
Yeah.
If you already start with a loss in the last round. And yeah, like I said, we played the mirror. I think I really was dedicated and to my blue-black tempo deck. This was what we played. I had the mirror match, and I really tried to squeeze every maximum decision to my best advantage in that spot. I think I really actually played very, very to the top of what I could perform at this point, and played to my outs also. You know, the principles that we learned from our last episodes a little bit with Echo Baronin.
So check those out.
Yes, it's a pretty much a good shout out at this point. I spent a lot of time to invest in the deck and also the strategy. I played a lot of this deck in the past, and therefore I got it over the top of Marcus, and then I won the first one. This is a tough start, of course, for Marcus. On the other hand, Jacob also won. So it was then between me and it was not over for Marcus, but it was a good start for me. Brett felt pretty good. Then I think I played against, what was it? Felix, I think, yeah. He's also one of my red. Yes. I'm not sure if it was the second or third round. I could be mistaken here. But I played against him, and he's also one of the better players I would.
Yeah, he's probably one of the biggest grinders in Austria regarding through all competitive formats he plays, modern, standard, pioneer. He's basically on every RCQ that you can play. So
has 7 4-season top 8s to his name basically twice on the Pro Tour. So he's really one of the better players that we have.
I remember now, I actually played him in the third round, but he played blue-black reanimator actually, not mono red. It was somehow, I mean, I think I got lucky, which is also a factor that you have to get lucky as well. But I really got to play my biggest tempo game against him. I think he struggled a lot, and I had my main deck now spell bombs against him, which is pretty big factor for reanimator, for beating reanimator. And yeah, I think if you played well, blue-black tempo is ahead a little bit. I like my chances, let's put it that way. And that's why I also won, I think, pretty convincingly. On the one hand, we were just joking, we were discussing, because it was kind of the third win that I needed. I won also the second round. So yeah, whether or not he should concede right away or something like that. But I said, let's play fair and square. Let's see what's happened. And I ended up beating him.
And then afterwards, the talk.
And I'm also a little bit proud of that, because it's also good that you got to play against good players also. Like first round, Marcos, second place for our season. Second round actually was Uhu, I think. Yeah, he was a pretty good player, I think, from our league now. He played Grixis Control, I think. Oh no, also blue-black reanimate. Yeah, I played against that deck 2 times, so top deck, and like I gathered experience with my deck against that deck also in a couple of weeks, and I'm feeling okay against this deck right now. So I like what it's about and what you should focus on, and that's why I beat it then 2 times in a row. I think it's also not just some random tanky decks, just put it that way. So it was a competition.
Yeah, you didn't play against me.
Well, depends, because there, of course, the downside is you never play against this matchup, and you don't really know what you should focus on. So this could be tricky, I think. But yeah, after the third round, I think I played again against, I think it was Tobias actually. Bergesberg.
On breakfast.
Mm-hmm. Also one of our, I would say, very good players in the end.
I think he won in season 8, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, exactly. But I think breakfasts, it can win, of course, but if you don't, get cheesed out to say, I like also my deck against the deck, and I think I won. I think I lost 1 game or something like that, but in the end I took it all down. And yeah, the last one, I actually can't remember what it was.
You were so in your head that, oh my God, I won this. I don't care what the last round is. It's fine.
With a 4-1, you basically sealed the deal.
Yeah, for sure.
The one that was just winning laps.
Yeah, but I won the last game as well. I like that the last match. So actually just made clean 5-0.
So it's cemented. Put it right into your face.
Yeah, so congrats on both the season win as of the win on the last FNM of the season.
Yeah.
But to win a whole season, there is not only the last FNM that's really, really crucial, even though it was this time. You played for basically since last September, not only blue-black tempo. So what were actually the decks that you played for the season? Not only the ones that you just jumped in like one FNM. I think you played Buck Beanstalk like for one and you said, so good, or show and tell. I think you played a few, but what are actually the decks over the whole year?
So I think when we started the season X, there was the reanimator version currently still legal with, I think it was Grief, exactly. And I contemplated on actually playing that, but also the blue-black tempo archetype kind of developed a little bit without Temio, but I think it was with Nethergorth already.
And Psychic Frog.
Psychic Frog was in the mix, of course, yeah, exactly. And actually played that version of blue-black tempo to start things out. But yeah, compared to the Grief Reanimator deck, it has the for sure it was more constant, but it has not this high ceiling of, scamming your opponent, basically. And then I switched actually to a different deck. And I think I had a mix of Breakfast also in the mix. Breakfast that I had. A couple of rounds. And I never really played this Grief version, I think. And it anyways got banned then soon afterwards.
Yeah, there was just a very, very short window where both things were legal. Psychic Frog.
Yeah.
I mean, it was half a year.
I remember that.
Was it half a year?
Yeah. It was like in July or something like that, where...
It was about June when Psychic Frog came out, and then in September or...
Grief was already banned in September.
I know that in Eternal Weekend it was legal. This is
only Psychic Frog, yeah.
Yeah, Eternal Weekend only Psychic Frog was legal. Yeah. But I'm unsure right now about the first 2 to 3 weeks of September.
I think it was legal.
It was a month. Yeah, it was a month that both were able to be played.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then they banned Grief, and then Psychic Frog was everywhere. And then we had the Eternal Weekend for that round where Breakfast won.
Yeah, with review on last one, we also had him on the cast.
Exactly.
You should check this episode out. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then I was on Breakfast again. And I said, oh my God, this deck is so great. I played a couple of weeks also, which was okay actually for our event also. I couldn't complain. It was good. But then I think Psychic Frog was also banned after that. And then the metagame was a little bit in flux. Then I tried Buck Beans a little bit again.
And Show and Tell, I think.
Yeah, and Show and Tell as well. Exactly. Or actually Omnitel. So not Sneak and Show, but the Omnitel version that is green and blue mostly. Like Kaiser Vatari had a pretty nice little small period where he performed very well with the deck. And I also played basically this version. I liked it very much. This deck can be played with a lot of Cunning Wish tutor effects, which are actually super bad in a vacuum.
Yeah.
And this version actually focused a lot on Stock Up. Stock Up was big.
Yeah, it was a big breakout card.
Yeah, this was super strong in Legacy. And yeah, Show and Tell is one obvious one to put it into. And it still is a very good card for this deck. And I tried this deck for that reason. Decent success, I would say. However, I felt that I actually also played in March then this 3-for-1 qualifier with the Omnitel deck.
Yeah.
Where I lost against Niklas Holtmann, then after with this Jeskai Wizards.
Yeah.
This was an insane match that I played against him. I think overall it had potential, but sometimes you'll just lose a little bit to yourself because you're missing your you don't have sneak attack and show and tell, you just have show and tell. And if you don't find it, you're in trouble.
You have a lot of air in this Omnitel list, because I'm pretty sure you only play 1 or 2 Emrakul and one Emrakul, 2 Atraxa or something.
Yeah.
So
your minimum amount actually.
Yeah, the rest is just card draw and air, basically. It's stock up, brainstorm sponders.
You need to find the show and tell for the missions. You have stock up that helps tremendously, but you just cannot play a legacy game where just stock upping and cantripping all the time. Bowmaster was coming back, and Reanimator somehow also a little bit showed up again. Then of course Oops was pretty coming really, and I think Oops is super hard also to beat, I think, from Omnitel perspective. I'm not sure, but it is just faster, I think.
Yeah, it's a little bit, it doesn't need the time to set up usually.
Yeah.
But it's mostly an online phenomenon, I would say.
It is. But of course, Philip, you played it a little bit in the time. There was a time period where you played it extensively. I think I would not liked the matchup when I was on Omnitel.
Yeah, that's true.
And for that reason, then I switched, I think, shortly also to Bug Beanstalk, but not for a long time.
I think at most 2 events or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't really felt it was too greedy for my tastes in that sense. Or let's put it that way, the metagame was too combo heavy.
Too fast.
So to actually seek a strategy that is beanstalking and triggering and drawing cards slowly, you want to have a faster clock. And for that reason, I picked up Blue-Black Tempo again, and I think for the almost second half until the end, I played it exclusively, the Blue-Black Tempo deck, which is really a deck I love right now.
Why did you choose Blue-Black Tempo over Blue-Black Reanimator? Blue-Black Reanimator seems to be the superior deck throughout the whole metagame because it has that win button.
Likely. And that's a very good question. I think overall, probably I should have taken it to even have better chances. But I think in a local, more condensed metagame, people know you and people can prepare against you in terms of graveyard hate. They know what you're playing after some time. And the hate will hurt you in the end more compared to the Blue-Black Tempo deck is of course more streamlined, is on average lower in power level. Yeah. But it is basically, I mean, it's not impossible to hate, but it's super resilient.
Yeah.
It can win against, rest in peace, even never saw it, right? But play lines and all this heavy graveyard interaction, a lot of Doughty Voidwalkers or something like that, Nile spell bombs, if people play it, you can play around that. And I come from a background with a lot of I played Chant in Modern, right? So good stuff. And Blue-Black Tempo also played a little bit that individually good cards and squeezing the most out of them.
Yeah, it feels like back in the old days, like Grixis Delva. Grixis Delva, for example, was always said, this is in the era with Death Shaman, this is the jump deck from Modern but in Legacy. Because it's just the best things that you can do in Legacy.
Yeah. Individually good cards.
And Blue-Black Reanimator slides exactly in that.
Tempo, you mean?
Tempo. Yeah. Blue-Black Reanimators, I think, also a little bit of personal preference. Always comes in mind with it. But I would say on average, both decks are pretty much aligned. Just the ceiling of Blue-Black Reanimator is higher.
Yeah, it is. And against certain matchups, you, I guess, have better chances. I could see, like, for example, for Blue-Black Tempo, one of the worst matchups is this white-black Death and Texas deck.
Yeah.
With Reanimator, I guess you can cheese them out a couple of times.
It should be 50-50.
But I also don't think that is a super great matchup for that reason. So, and I also like playing against Reanimator, as the last event showed. I think with Blue-Black Tempo, I'm feeling very good against this deck. Yeah. And for that reason, I liked my Tempo deck. It is a little bit harder to speed, except when you play Texas.
Yeah, I've heard a lot from different Texas players saying, yeah, Blueback Temper, it's a buy.
Yeah. It's really good.
But with like playing a bunch of decks, playing over an extensive period of the year, do you have some key lessons learned for us? Something that you felt like this year, I really got a grasp on this thing.
Yeah, I think what I kind of learned a little bit is to develop. I'm kind of feeling it that it now kind of pays off a little bit. I was one guy, for example, I felt a little bit to lose confidence in my deck when I have one or two bad performances.
Yeah.
And I think I recovered from that now a little bit. Let's say I was one guy that could fall into, let's say, a hole where I say, okay, I had 2 bad weeks now, I should switch decks. But no, I learned to really focus on okay, what are the matchups that I want to face? What are the matchups that I want to bring sideboard cards that I want to win against? And what are matchups that I say, okay, I want to lose against? So let's say not want, but I say, okay, I cannot cover everything and that's okay. And sometimes, I don't know if you have the feeling, but this is something that I think is very valuable when you get paired against a certain player and you know this player is in a certain deck. Subconsciously, you already have let's say an assessment on how this matchup should be. Like,
yeah,
if I play against Texas, I already have a bad feeling because, okay, I'm now losing because I'm ahead. But I am trying now to completely disregard this feeling and this assessment and focus on what I can actually influence, which is my decisions in the game and playing to the best of my ability, disregarding how bad it looks and not get overwhelmed by just, oh my God, I have to prepare against. He could have solitude.
For solitude, for Sotter Blowshares, failure, triggering all the stuff, Flicker Wisp again, flickering solitude. Oh my God, it's just nightmare.
And if you think, oh my God, I have to deal with all that, and then I think you, for me at least, it's like that. You get it into your head, and then there's like a cloud that pops up, and I cannot think clearly anymore.
Yeah, and if they have it, it's like, yeah, sure, you had it, and I was right. My bad feelings have proven me right, and it's like, yeah.
It's a little bit like that. But I also try now to focus on, if I come to a matchup where I know it's pretty bad, what should my game plan look? What are my key focus points in a game? I've tried it with my last tournament, like writing down, okay, in turn 3 and 4, I really want to turn the tide because I know my opponent is overwhelming in the first 2 turns. So what are the key cards I want to have? What are the key cards that I want to interact with my opponent? This is something that I'm working on, and I think it's pretty much in line with that, just with being more focused in the brain and don't let fuck. We don't say these words in the pod. But it's like, okay, the last four matches, I had no chance. It was always 0-2. There was nothing I can do about it. And yeah, I had my faces with that back in the days on Painter versus 4-color control with Fabian. It was like, I was sitting there and I know that I lost. But sometimes I could squeeze a little bit out.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think this kind of feeling, so let's say these assessments can distract you actually from your important decisions that you might not even realize are mattering when you just play them. Little things.
Everything matters.
Everything matters, kind of is. And it's not that you have to, overthink also. It's not that case, I think. But having the right focus, I guess, is what helped me in the last couple of rounds to make sure that I play the best I can. And if you're losing, it's okay. I mean, it's part of the game. That's something that you shouldn't have too much feeling on, I guess. And that's because then it would also not influence the next matchup, for example. So that's the reason why I try to do that. And sometimes it's really hard for me as well. But I think I improved a little bit in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the mental game is a really, really big point where a lot of players actually should focus on.
Yeah.
Because as you said, like if your mental influences you, normally between rounds, everything resets to 0 for both players. But if you're starting off with a really bad mental because like, I couldn't get any food or my opponent was so super lucky, you're only starting at -10 or something like that. And you really want to be at least 0, even with a good mental. We can basically throw some shades around.
Yeah, that's true.
Always running good. But yeah, so you've grown a little bit as a player, and you've grown a little bit since last year. Since last year you didn't qualify for the European Legacy Masters. Yeah, I mean you basically, or we two were basically in the finals, but on the other side of the field on the stream in the commentary. Sure. So this year, I think you want to try to get into the final again, but now it's not that easy. There will be like 127 players standing in your way to the finals. Yeah. So what is basically your rate for transitioning to the European Legacy Masters in Hasselt, Belgium? What are your expectations actually for the tournament? What are your goals?
I haven't thought about this, to be honest, because I'm just too happy that it actually qualifies in first place. But of course, I just want to have. I booked now my trip basically, and I think of course I want to have a great event and a great weekend with the Eternal Mania. That's the first experience. Getting to play the ELM, I think, is anyways for me almost good enough. I'm okay how bad of good I get, but I will try. I think I just want to continue with that incentive. I know now, and this is what I need to prepare a little bit. This is more an open field rather than a local meta game. I focused for the season, of course, for our community against our local meta game, and this is more open. So I need to really switch up my deck list and my strategy a little bit, and what decks I am likely to face. If I get a positive record, I'm fine actually, because then I've proven myself also to be okay because these are the top players, right, of Europe. So
I'm proven to be okay. That's a statement.
but actually that's a nice goal to have.
This is the achievable goal. I would
say
say like
I think that's achievable. Yeah. But what is the goal?
You're a competitor. To win.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. In the end, I'm shooting for of course to win it. Yeah, that would be nice. Let's see. I'm however always a little bit. I'm not super confident in saying, yeah, okay, I'm gonna win this. This is not how I treat it. I kind of feel it more reserved, let's say, more realistic actually. Because you can have, of course, a bad day, a bad matchup, whatever. Well, matchup not really, but bad luck also happens, and then
everything is over.
Or vice versa. I mean, to really win such a tournament, to spike it, you have to have a shitload of luck, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think a really good saying for Magic tournaments, or always such tournaments also happens in like golf, darts, or other sports, is like, you have to be really good to be statistically in the running, but you have to be lucky to win it.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
But if you're statistically not good, you have to have, like, as you said, like a really shit ton of luck. But yeah, you have to be really good, usually, to be in a place where you can get that lucky to win the tournament.
That's true.
And you have to place yourself into that
position.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm after. This is what I'm meaning when I'm saying this. Focusing on what matters, right? It's these decisions in the game, and also in terms of deck building and so on. We have to pick your best chance, and then of course, it's basically up to fate. Seems a little bit strange when I say it, but whether or not it turns out to be true, kind of.
Yeah. So, I think we wish you
a lot of luck, because a lot of happens on the 10th of August.
Yeah.
It's soon to come.
Exactly. Yeah. I have a couple of weeks to prepare. Like, sadly, actually, we don't have a season now.
Yeah, that's true.
So I need to prepare elsewhere somehow. But maybe I jam a couple of leagues or something like that.
Did you thought about going for meta traders?
Yeah, there's Lacrosse. Without a subscription, you can have this in card order. You can just a couple of weeks. You can lend a deck and then play a couple of, yeah.
Maybe win a challenge as well.
Yeah, exactly. I also want to prepare for Eternal Weekend. Unfortunately, the preparation for that will start after that, I guess, for the ELM.
Maybe you get the coaching in before.
Yeah, this is what I was after, but I think it starts in September.
No,
it's just for the ELM. For the
I mean,
Weekend.
I can of course get a separate one. Yeah, that maybe makes sense. I think about that if there is some slots or time available.
Yeah, basically, you can look through all the MTG Top 8 results. You know what the players played when they qualified.
Yeah.
So
you can look at the player profiles, right? This is
not only the player profiles on the website, there is also the MTG Top 8 results for like nearly all of the tournaments.
Yeah.
And no one that doesn't have one because it's one of us in Graz tournament. But you played against.
I was in the finals there.
You played in the finals, you know the opponent.
Yeah.
He was playing Mono Blue Painter back in the day. But yeah, I'm just excited to see you. I will be watching the stream. It's my wife's birthday. So I have some obligations to do.
Yeah, me too. It's not your wife's birthday for me, but my wife's. So
on the next
day, but we are celebrating on Sunday. So
okay, you doing early celebrations. It brings bad luck, and you have a wedding this year.
It doesn't. That's just I don't know how to say this in English. It's just Aberglaube.
There's a word for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's a hoax.
Something like that.
Something like that. But it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, good luck. Thank you, and see you guys in the next episode.